Hello, everyone, and welcome to Talia's Learning Hub. So, you're welcome to lesson 4, which is on business unit. We have had other lessons on introduction to commerce, types of trade, enterprise, and now we're moving out to the business unit. At the end of this lesson, what we're expected to know is you should be able to define what a business organization is, or a business unit is. You should identify the types of, the different sectors of the business unit. You can outline the features of unincorporated businesses, define who a sole trader is, outline their advantages and the disadvantages, give the sources of capital to a sole trader and give reasons why a sole trader will convert his business into a partnership business. And also define what a partnership business is, identify the types of partnership business and the kinds of partners we can find in a partnership business. So let's kick off. So let me ask, what is business unit? Definitely I'm going to answer that for you. Business units are forms of organization that carry out either economic or commercial activities for profit making or non-profit making. And these business units are divided into two sectors. We have the private sector and the public sector. The private sector, these are organizations that are owned by private individuals. I mean, it could be one person, it could be more than one person. And the public sector is owned by the state. Now, for the private sector, we have unincorporated businesses and incorporated businesses. Okay, so under the incorporated businesses, we'll be looking at two types of organization, right? We're going to look at the sole proprietorship, otherwise known as the sole trader, and the partnership business. So today we're going to kick off by introducing the sole proprietorship. What is sole proprietorship? This is a business that is owned by one man. The person takes all the decision alone, provides the capital, run the business alone, and enjoys all the profit alone. And this is the oldest form of business unit. It is very common, even in our neighborhoods, right? You see people, you have stores that they sell, a small, maybe small store by the neighborhood that they sell things there. That is what we call a sole proprietorship business or a sole trader. And what are the characteristics of a sole trader? And remember, this characteristic cuts across with the partnership business because they are unincorporated. And what are some of the characteristics of unincorporated business which ties to the sole proprietorship? We have unlimited liability. What does that mean? It means that the debt of the business extends to the private properties of the owner. That means if you're owing somebody or the business is owing and it goes bankrupt, they'll have to sell even the personal properties of the owner to pay off the debt. They don't have a legal entity, meaning that the ownership and the business are not separated. They are seen as one, right? And that is why, in a basic, we always say cannot sue and cannot be sued, right? In the name of the business. So if you're suing the business, you're also suing the owner. Now, the ownership is not separate from management, meaning that those who own it manage the business. Another characteristic that they have is that they enjoy privacy. Privacy in what means? In what way? Sorry. It means that at the end of the year, they don't publish their financial reports, right, or their financial statements. It is kept private. So, and another characteristic they have, there is no minimum capital requirement. Any capital you have, you can kick off with the unincorporated businesses. So, coming back now to the sole proprietorship, now let's look at the advantages of a sole proprietorship. Recall our characteristic was for both sole proprietorship and the partnership business. So let's look at the advantages of a sole proprietorship business. First advantage, it is easy to start, right? It is not complicated. It is easy to start. And there is fast decision making. Because it's just one person, you don't need to consult anybody. You just take your decision. Another advantage is that they enjoy all the profit alone. It's a one-man business, so all the profit goes to the person. Another advantage is that They don't need any capital requirement. Any small capital you can start up your business. Those are some of the advantages of a sole trader, otherwise known as a sole proprietorship business. And then for the disadvantages, right? The first disadvantage is that they have limited capital. With that, it is difficult for them to expand because it is just the capital is spread just by one person. And then another thing, they have unlimited liability. We already mentioned that the characteristics, right? It means that in case of bankruptcy, they'll extend to the owner's personal properties to sell it off to pay off the debts. There is no specialization. One person does all the job, all the work, and that is tiring. It can be no a burden to the person, I mean, a toll on the person's health. Another disadvantage is that I mean, the chance for continuity is limited. The small business in your neighborhood, if it falls now, there might be nobody to run it. That business has come to an end. And then, so these are some of the disadvantages of sole proprietorship business. Now, another thing we'll be looking at in this video is the sources of capital to the sole proprietorship. How do they get capital? Another one way to get capital is from past savings, right? They might have been saving money, so they decide to withdraw the money or take the money from wherever they save and now start or invest in the business. They might plow back profit. What does that mean? It means that they reinvest the profit into the business, right? So instead of you using the profit for something else, you put the profit back into the business. Another source of capital is inheritance. Somebody might give you something as an inheritance. That will be a source of capital. Another source of capital is borrowing from what we call the Jangi houses. I'm putting it in quotes. Jangi houses, like meeting houses, you can borrow from there. Another source of capital to the sole trader is buying goods on credit, trade credit. You buy goods, when you sell it later on, you pay. So these are some of the sources of capital to the sole trader. So I'm going to be looking at in this video is why a sole trader will convert his business into a partnership, right? Moving from a sole trader to a partnership, moving from being alone to involving other persons. So these are some of the reasons. The first reason is you want to increase your capital. You remember we said one of the disadvantages of sole proprietorship is that they have limited capital. Now you want to increase your capital because so by involving other persons, so when they come, the capital of the business is going to increase. Another reason is that you want new ideas into the business. They always say two heads are better than one. So you can bring in more people so that you can bring in ideas to boost up the business. Another reason is that they want to enjoy specialization. They have division of labor. You can divide the work. At that moment, one person will not be doing all the job. It's going to break down to many persons. Another, they want to enjoy economies of scale. There are benefits you get when you buy in large scale or when you're producing in large scale. Another reason is that they want a greater chance of continuity. So in case one person dies, there is a greater chance that the business is going to continue. So these are some of the reasons why a sole trader will convert his business into a partnership. So with that, we have come to an end with the sole proprietorship, and we are going to introduce the partnership business. And what is a partnership business? This is a business that is owned by for minimum of 2 to 20 persons, and for every other sector except the banking sector. The banking sector, the maximum of owners is 10. So if you're a partnership business and you're running a bank, the maximum partners are supposed to be 10. And then we have different types of partnership businesses. We have two types. We have the limited partnership business and we have the general partnership business. So the limited means that they have at least one ordinary partner who has unlimited liability, and the other partners have and other partners have limited liability, right? So they are limited partners. And then we have the general partnership. That's a partnership that all the partners are ordinary partners. All of them, they bear the risk of the business. And then we have types of partners. Types of partners, we have 4 types. We have the ordinary partners that we already mentioned. These are those who bear they undertake the day-to-day running of the business. They bear the risks of the business. We have the limited or the dormant partner or sleeping partners. These are those that just put in capital and they don't run the business. We have the nominal partner. These are partners that don't really take part in running the business. What they do is you just pay them. You can give them some money and you use their name, to run to be as a partner that, as it shows that you have somewhat of a good reputation in your partnership, in your business. And then we have the quasi partners. Quasi partners are partners that have retired, but they left their capital in the business so that you can pay them profit at the end of the year. So with that, we are going to come to an end with our lesson. And the other things about partnership, we'll see them in our next class. So as usual, please like, share, and comment. Don't forget to follow us. And we are going to drop questions as usual at the end of this video. So see you next class.